Alright, what's going on, guys? Hero here, and we are going to be talking about some news that the Nexus team has released, I believe, on the 1st of July. And I think it's very important that a lot of people kind of read through this and go through it, but I want to make a video kind of giving my own thoughts and opinions on it, as well as reading through it myself to kind of get the full scope of exactly what's going on. So the too long didn't read, which is the first thing we'll see here. It is basically the implementation of something called collections, which... And from my understanding, from what I've read, and we'll read through this together, they are planning to no longer allow mod authors to delete mods completely from the Nexus. What's going to happen is that when a mod author wants to remove a mod, it's going to be archived instead of completely removed, meaning there's going to be a hard copy on the website that can only be accessed through the API, which is, I'd imagine, something that the moderators and the website builders and engineers have access to, not necessarily the common person. But we'll get into that a little bit later. And I think there's a lot of good and bad things that can come from this, but we'll read through the notes here that we pull up here, and I'll have this link in the description down below if you want to read it yourself or if you want to go back and reference it. But we're going to start with the long but through all tell all. We'll kind of skim through some of this because it is fairly long, right? There's a lot of stuff here to get through, and then I'll kind of reference my thoughts and opinions as we read through this. So this may be a long one, as it says here. Either put this on the background, grab you some snacks, kind of chill out, because we got a little bit to go through here. So let's get started. So it seems like this was discussed back in 2019. The goal of the collection/archive was to allow the average person to set up a modded game. That's why we saw tools such as the wabbajack came to fruition. Is the ability to be able to build up a mod list, or I guess a mod pack as it were, and get up and running on mods without spending hours of troubleshooting and implementation and things like that. Again, for the average user, that's something that I think the wabbajack tool does a really good job of doing, is allowing someone to instantly have a mod pack within a couple of, not even hours. For example, it took me about 30 to 45 minutes to completely set up Living Skyrim, and that's just because most of that time was downloading and automating the system of mods itself, and then I have a modded game, a beautifully modded game, mind you, right? Anyway, we're going off topic, but this seems to be the implementation that what the Nexus is trying to do as well, is give the ability for your average user to get these mod lists without having to worry about things such as conflicts or broken mods and things like that. So it says here it's difficult to bring up a large mod order, finding mods that work, patches, conflicts, things that the average user does not want to deal with. And you have plenty of YouTube videos that show how to get a perfect mod list or how to go through your mod list and things like that. This seems like the kind of the goal of the collections is to help build a mod list. This means that many people miss on enriching their experience with fantastic mods, and stuff like that, which I get it. I'm one of those people sometimes I don't want to deal with troubleshooting. But here we go. Here's some of the information here. And I guess this is only Vortex. I don't know if this is going to be from Mod Organizer too, so bear with me here. How this is work is using Vortex, someone could build a mod list or a mod setup locally on their machine, and then export a meta file with all information about the mods, the file conflicts, resolution, etc., and upload that file to the site. We refer to this to the site in the Vortex as a collection. Another user can now add this meta file, this collection, to the site, to Vortex, and then Vortex will fetch all of the download links, download them, and install them to the same way the original user, the curator of the mod list, has them installed on their PC, complete with conflict resolutions, data, and all. So if I talk too fast, mainly what this statement means is that if you use Vortex and you have a perfectly modded game, like say you found the perfect settings for a realistic, hardcore, survival, one life mod list, you can now build that list, export a meta file, and then upload that file to the Nexus, and then people can download that meta file using Vortex and implement that exact same mod list for their machine. Again, something that wabbajack sort of does on its own, but there's a little bit more work involved into it. I think with the idea of the collections, it's a lot easier and it's a lot seamless and streamlined. But again, I'm not an engineer and I haven't really built my own mod list and used it on the wabbajack portion, so I can't say for sure. But this statement alone, I think this is going to be a lot easier for people, especially amongst friends and Discord groups that want to play sort of the same, type of Skyrim. So anyway, moving on from that, the outcome of this replication of the whole mod setup without much hassle and without entire packs of mods zipped up in an archive being redistributed. This way we can guarantee that the mod authors of these mods will still get the downloads and they will still get the donation points from these downloads. This is actually very important too. I don't know if wabbajack counts the downloads from their tool as downloads to the mod authors. If someone that does make wabbajack mod list, or someone that does work on the wabbajack tool, can let me know either through the comments, or if you want to jump in Discord, please let me know. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but this is very important for mod authors, because with the download points and then the donation points, this is what gets their mods on the front page. This is why we see certain popular mods of the week, the month, the year, and stuff like that, because lots of users are downloading that mod and making sure that they're using it, and then they're endorsing it and things like that. This replication of that will allow those mod authors to get credit, which is very important. It may not seem like a big deal to your average user, but to mod authors, and even content creators, that's a pretty big deal. That's something that's very important. I think that's something that should be recognized, and if this works out, I think that's a really good thing for mod authors. Moving on from that, great care is being also taken that mods in the collection are previewed while they're downloaded. Users are still shown the images and summaries on the mods they're downloading, and they can also view the original mod page if they do so. Now, I think wabbajack does this too, although I don't know if you go to the mod page directly from the picture that they show, but in the wabbajack tool, whenever you're downloading a mod, it gives you a brief description of what the mod is and shows a picture of it. I think you can click on it and it will open up the mod page on your default browser. I believe it does that, so that's sort of the same thing here. From what it sounds like Nexus is trying to compete somewhat with wabbajack, but I don't know. It sounds like it's sort of a competition thing, which, all good things breed competition, so it'd definitely be interesting to see how it goes. Because I don't use Vortex because I think Vortex is a little confusing, but I think with something like this, I might dabble in Vortex. While we allow for some files to be bundled with the collection, this is intended for tool-generated output files. For example, LOD generated by DYD, that whole thing, which is a very popular mod. For Skyrim, a collection does not contain any mods. Instead, it acts as more of a reference list for Vortex to know which files from a mod page that needs to download, what installer option to choose, how to resolve mod conflicts, and how to arrange your load order. This is actually pretty important too, because some mods have a installer option, meaning like, okay, do you want 4K textures, 2K textures, do you want red, green, blue textures, and things like that. I believe that with the meta file, all those options are already chosen for you, so again, you don't have to do like the minor things of choosing, if I want 4K textures or 2K textures, if I want certain things. I think that's what that statement means. Again, I could be wrong, and please let me know what your thoughts are down below, because that's very, very important. Our collections are premium feature. For those who don't know what Nexus Premium is, I believe for like $3 a month, you'll get access to higher download speeds, and then if you use the wabbajack tool, it makes the automation process easier. Otherwise, you have to do it all by manual installation, and you don't want to do that by manual unless you really know what you're doing. Much like speeding up the download process in our site in general, premium memberships is going to speed up the process to download a mod collection. This is because premium members, through their purchase of membership, are actively contributing to the upkeep of our site to be it server costs, 18 employees, a content delivery network, C&D, spending across the globe, giving back to mod authors via the donation point system, insurance, an office in the heart of the, I can't pronounce that English, and so on. Therefore, we can and want to offer them the best possible service, including added convenience when using new collection feature, which we believe will help making the modding much easier. Okay, so you'll probably get some additional perks and benefits if you are a premium member, which honestly, if you, and I'm not, sponsored, this isn't an ad or anything, if you use Nexus on a constant basis and you download mods a lot, premium is a really good deal. For $3 a month, or I think they have like a one-time lifetime membership for $50. It's a really good deal. I invested in myself. It makes the modding process a lot easier when I want to get a game up and running. That being said, we do not want to, and we will not lock this feature off and make it premium only. On the contrary, collections will be available to everyone, including free users. However, truth be told, it will be more convenient for premium users and less convenient for free users, like I was explaining before. For premium users, you'll get faster download speeds, and you'll probably have much less of a hassle getting everything set up. Premium users will be able to essentially queue the download and install an entire collection of mods, an experience we describe as close to a one-click installation as possible. Free users, on the other hand, will also have full access to the collections, but they will need to click and open a download page for every mod in the collection they want to download manually. That way, free users are not simply bypassing the mod author's page with our entire revenue stream, as we're still able to serve them as while the files at the download page. The free user experience is therefore going to be a bit of downloading mods in the traditional mod list, with the added convenience of being directed to the exact file, as well as getting all the automated conflict resolution benefits through Vortex. The download and installation process can be paused, resumed at pretty much any time, so it's less convenient than the premium journey. Free users will end up with the exact same results as premium users, the collection of mods with the same conflict resolution data and the collection curator intended. So basically what this means, from my understanding, is that premium users are going to be able to do the same thing that they're doing on the wabbajack tool. You click a button, it downloads, it sorts out all the mods themselves, you're good to go. For free users, you'll get a list of all the mods. However, you got to click on each one by one. It's not an automated system. So if you choose to skip through a mod, you can. However, then you still have to deal with some of the conflict resolution stuff. So I would say if you're going to use this tool, definitely, again, premium is the way to go, right? Premium is probably the way to go if you're going to do this. To back this up with a concrete example of testing, using our collection system, just the other day, I downloaded and installed the entire collection for Valum, consisting of 50 mods in just under 11 minutes when testing as a free user. As a premium user, the same collection took me 3 minutes to set up. Again, you're essentially, cutting your time by a third. I know it's not the exact terminology, but whatever, numbers and math. But by a third is kind of what I'm reading here, excuse me. When the system is ready to go public, both types of membership, premium and free, will have access to creating, managing, downloading collections, so every user on the site will be able to benefit from this new feature, be it overhaul their whole game in one swoop, conveniently share a mod list with their favorite mods and their friends, or back up their own personal mod list without actually re-uploading any mods. And I think this is going to be great for content creators, because there are some content creators that I follow that post these beautiful mod lists, but it's such a hassle. It's a hassle to go through each one of the mods and download and sort them out. If they wanted to, what they can do is via Vortex is set up the metadata and then have that mod list available for users to get an exact replica of those games. For example, there's a user on here, and I might have his video linked down below, that makes like this 4K RTX generated, version of both Fallout and Skyrim. And I would like to do something like that myself, because I have the hardware to run it. However, it just takes so much time to correctly set it up. There's conflict data and stuff like that. It'll make things much easier if we're able to implement the metadata for that exact mod list, have it posted in the description of the videos, and then boom, people can come there, click on it. It goes through the automation process. All the users that are, all the mod authors are getting, the kickback from the premium subscription if you're a premium. They're also, making sure that they're counted as like downloads from their personal pages and stuff like that. So I'm really happy about this tool, and the more I'm reading about it, the more I'm excited for it. I was on the fence about it through some things, but actually reading through the data, I'm actually really excited for it. So I'm looking forward to see where this brings. Addressing speculation about collections. The system at this moment is still very much in development, and we're looking to give it to a first set of test users for further testing soon. This means two things. On one hand, we're not ready to show and tell about everything that is involved. It may well vary change in some aspects, and on the other hand, not everything about it is set in stone, which is why we're actively looking for feedback from testers in the first place. Okay, so that's fair. Let me say this loud and clear. At this point, and therefore this news post, no one outside of Nexus Mods has even seen or heard about our collection system actually works or what it looks like, let alone anyone, and this includes us as well, of course, knows how exactly everything's going to pan out once the collections are released to you all. Naturally, however, with collections being anticipated as a big thing in the modding world, a lot of people have been speculating, but please don't lose track of the fact that at this point, much of what you have been reading, assuming, hypothesis is just that, speculation. And it's 100% correct. This video is going to be like chopped with speculation. I'm guessing on some things that happen based on what's being read. So again, take that with a grain of salt. A lot of things from my videos or videos from other creators, I don't know which other creators have been making videos based on this, but a lot of it is going to be speculation, and that's very important. So far, our stance has not been to talk about our plans for collections publicly until the system is ready. The idea behind the approach being that the system should speak for itself. We understand that this stance has been dissatisfying to some, especially for those who speculate that collections will have a negative impact on the community and who thought our silence meant that we are not seeing or hearing their concerns. I'm actually glad that they're speaking out on this, because I have been reading a couple of other articles, and a couple of mod creators and stuff like that have been speculating that, okay, well, people aren't going to be able to see our mods or come to the download page or leave comments and stuff like that. No, that's not the case. At the very least, they're going to get the credit and get the download for that. The truth is, we are very aware that the concerns of mod authors have voiced in our forums when answering our mod author focus survey we ran a few months ago. You can find some of the data collected in that survey and an anonymized form here. I'll probably link this link in the description. I'm not going to go over that today. One concern we heard from mod authors is One concern we've heard from mod authors is the worry over collections curated receiving donations or donation points, and thus taken away from donations from mod authors. To address this, I can say that we understand where you're coming from, and realistic the dedicated nature of this issue. Our plans for the initial public release of collections are not to integrate collections with the donation points mod reward system. That means while the mod authors of the mods in a collection are going to receive donation points for every single unique download generated through the collection creations are not going to receive any donation points per download. For the sake of transparency, however, to be perfectly honest with you, we believe that much like we do not interfere with mod authors receiving a donation for their contribution to work unless our guidelines are violated, which I believe direct references to donating or giving money, we should not interfere with users donating their money to collection curators. If you have seen some of the more involved mod lists out there, mod lists that sometimes include over 500 mods, you might be able to see that curating all of those can be a lot of work. Knowing how to put mods together, what patches to install, which installer to choose, etc., all that stuff that comes with the mod pack is not exactly an easy task when a big mod list is concerned. We think that mod list collection curators are and will be added to the community, so we do not believe we should stop the people from donating to them if they happen to like what they do. So to give you a short version of that, basically the people who decide to create these mod lists, or I guess these data packs, I don't know the exact terminology to call these. I guess for now maybe mod list will be the best terminology for it. Whenever they upload their mod list to the Nexus, the authors will still going to get the donation points and the download points, right? However, if a user chooses to do so, excuse me, a little bit of heartburn. If the users choose to do so, they can also implement those donation points to the curator of that mod list, meaning that they can get a kickback as well through the donation system. And like he was saying here, yes, they may not be creating the mods, but putting together the mod list and doing patches and compatibilities and stuff like that, that's not easy, especially when you have super integrated things such as Noir, which implements Requiem or Living Skyrim, things like that. Those take a lot of time to make. So in their eyes, they're seeing that we're not going to interfere with those people getting their money, just like we don't interfere with mod authors getting their money. To give you an example of concern we're aware of, some authors are worried that collections will lead to more users complaining to them when they are running into an issue caused by interaction with other mods in the collection that the user download. This is just another example of a valid concern, and one that plays a role when we're designing the system, drafting our terms of service for collections, or when we are planning the future moderation approach. Identifying these public issues and then taking active measures to alleviate them is always part of the development process. This is why we're invited mod authors to partake in the first initial testing cycle, why we did a survey asking mod authors their input, and why Mike, that's Picasaurus, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, and I spending our days testing, questioning, and viewing the system from the mod author's perspective to make sure that your concerns are heard or addressed as much as possible. That being said, this is a project that is still in development, and we're not likely going to get it right immediately. However, let me reassure you that we are aware of the concern and that has been raised so far, while actively working on catering to them, and we will work with testers to help us iron out many I'd never seen this word before, and my mind went somewhere different. Niggles as much as possible released to the public. I know that means something else, but there could have been a better word for that. So in that statement, and what I'm understanding, because this actually is one of the things that the wabbajack team tells people, do not go to mod authors if something is broken. Go to the person that created the mod list, right? That's kind of a big issue that I've seen with the wabbajack tool, is that people will go to the mod author creators for a specific mod because it's not working with their mod list from Living Skyrim, instead of going to the person that created Living Skyrim. I hope that they implement a tool, or maybe when they set up the pages for the mod list, they have their own separate pages, so that way authors can go in there and say like, okay, well, Sky UI is not working with immersive HUD anymore. What's going on? Is there a patch or something that we missed? And they go to the actual curator of the mod list rather than going to the mod authors themselves. I hope that's what they're planning on implementing. Like I said, there's a lot more here to go, and I don't want to spend too much time reading over this. It's already been 20 minutes, so I will leave the rest of this down below. I think the most important part is that this is something that is coming. One last thing we'll kind of go over is kind of maybe file archiving, or maybe I'll make a part 2 of this if you guys want, kind of going over like the file archiving and stuff like that. But there's a lot to unpack here, right? And I'm going to leave this in the description down below so you guys can read it and let me know what you guys think. But for the too long didn't read or too long didn't listen, you guys kind of skipped to the end. What's happening is Nexus is implementing a system along with Vortex to allow users to upload their own mod list and allow other people to download it and get a modded game set up, you know, within minutes. However, there are some, you know, back-end stuff that needs to be done for, you know, mod authors to make sure they're getting the, you know, donation points, and they make sure that they're getting, you know, the download views and stuff like that, as well as making sure they're not, you know, breaking that trust and that relationship between mod authors. I think once the system is ironed out, it will be something similar to the wabbajack tool, but maybe a little bit more easier. I'm not entirely sure. I'm definitely interested to see how this goes. I think this is sort of in direct competition with wabbajack. I'm going to be completely honest with you, because wabbajack came into the scene like, boom, here's some mod lists that you can do. Boom, you can download this easy. And, you know, the team over at Nexus Mods probably is thinking, well, we can probably do this, right? This is something we could do. We can probably make something similar to this. We have our own, you know, engine here with Vortex that implements directly with Nexus, so they could do something similar to it. So I don't know, I'm excited to see what happens, and I will definitely keep you guys updated as the story develops. Again, I apologize for the super long video, but I think it was super necessary to get this out there and kind of talk about it, because I haven't seen a lot of content creators talk about it, or maybe I've missed it, and maybe it just really doesn't warrant, you know, a video about it. But I figured, you know what, I'm getting back into Skyrim modding, and I do Fallout and other games as well. Let me go ahead and chime in a little bit from my experience as both a content creator, as someone who does dabble a lot with the mod list and things like that. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think is going to happen. What do you think of the tool? Do you think it's something that, you know, should be praised, something that should be concerned? Are you excited to see it? And if you are a content creator, or I'm sorry, if you're not a content creator, but if you're a mod author that uses the site and you've heard about this, please let me know what you think. I really am interested to hear what you think about this news, because I know a lot of people on here are more users than mod authors, but I really want to hear your thoughts on it. I think it's going to be really nice for conversation. And honestly, if it gets really big, I would love to talk with someone over Discord, maybe another video about it, kind of going over the stuff together and seeing where this goes. So, you know, that's the end of the video. Appreciate you guys watching for so long. I know it's a long video, like I said, it's kind of like background stuff, but if you enjoyed it and you want to see more stuff like this, please hit the subscribe button, bell notification icon, like the video, and spread this out to your friends and let them know what's going on, especially if they are part of the modding scene. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.